Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Zoom Into Wine. It's time for the show and your host, Ian Blackburn.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining me. My name is Ian Blackburn, and it's time to Zoom Into Wine. Every Wednesday night, we get together with a great audience and send out some tasting kits. We're tasting wines of the world every Wednesday right here at Zoom Into Wine. You can join us, get our little tasting kit, and join us. Tonight, we're going to Spain, and I've got a great lineup of wines for you guys. I'm getting my little bars in order here, and hopefully you guys are all set and ready to go. Waiting for just a couple more people to come in, but I'm going to go ahead and get started. And let me get my slideshow up and running. Those of you that are joining us on Facebook, this is just a little show we do every week, Wednesday, 7 o'clock, trying to spread the love of wine and to have some fun learning about some new wines that maybe you haven't tried before. Each week's a different country, a different grape variety. We go all over the place. Please feel comfortable to come on if you're in the show and ask questions, or you can use the chat box, which we'll try to pay attention to. But we got a lot to cover. We got an extra wine tonight too, a little bonus wine. So let's get started, and let's go right into wine number one. Some of you may have never seen a wine like this before. It's very possible. If you've ever been to northern Spain, to San Sebastian, this is what you're going to find. This is called Txakolina. That's how you pronounce that, Txakolina. And we've got a really good one here for you tonight. It is the wine of Basque country, San Sebastian, seafood tapas, super fun. I'll be taking a group there next year, and I hope maybe you want to join me. We're going to be doing a really deep food focus in San Sebastian. Some great restaurants there, getting a lot of love in the press, and a lot of people are visiting there. Amazing wine can be found everywhere. There's some fantastic restaurants, one in particular that's got a wine cellar that make your jaw drop. And we're going to be going to a lot of those places. We love to visit these iconic wine destinations and really live it up. And here in San Sebastian, you know, what's great about Txakolina is you can go there and have an amazing meal, tapa style meal with a bottle of Txakolina, and it will cost you less than a Happy Meal here in America. It literally will. A full bottle of wine, by the way. So we're up here in the northern part of Spain, Basque country, San Sebastian, beautiful destination, right on the water. And this property has been making wine since 1820. Family owned and operated. This is our indigenous varieties to northern Spain: Hondurabi Azuri and Hondurabi Belza. And I may be pronouncing both of those, but pretty close. That is the base of these wines. Again, 5th generation here running the estate right over the water. This is a look at our property. We intend to go and visit these folks when we go on our trip as well. There's another look at the wine. When they bottle it, it's got a little DO certification on it. It's under screw cap. Very fresh. Okay, these wines should be drank very fresh too. It's usually, I say, 5 years. I'm sure this wine will be still interesting in 5 years, but I would say 5 months if you could, with something like this, just super fresh and fun. It actually has a little bit of a spritz when you first open it. I'm sure that did not survive well in the jar, but that's okay. Let's get into the glass and see how it tastes. You can really smell that bright green apple, almost like those green apple candies. I think there is a little bit of a fresh mint. I use a lot of mint at home, put it in salads, put it in hot water to remind me to drink more water. I drink a lot of hot mint water. This thing is zinging with acidity. There are versions of Txakolina that can get quite sweet. This thing is just bursting with playful energy. And wow, will you be surprised how fast you can just guzzle a bottle of this on a warm day, sitting over the ocean, some great food with some friends. You'll need a bottle each, I promise you, and that's lunch, maybe breakfast. It's just that way to go, and it's just really fun and entertaining. I love the package. It's just super authentic. Here's the grape varieties that you can see. Hammurabi Zuri is the most common grape variety up in this area, and a lot of the Txakolina wines feature this varietal. I'm sure it's not 50% and 90%. I think it's 90-10, and I'm not sure that's the right grape variety. We're going to get into the tasting note a little bit here. 90 points online wine review. This lightly fizzy, and that petulant is basically bottled CO2. They just put it right in there to freshen it up, and it's there to help make the wine have a fun mouthfeel, keep it really fresh. So when you unlock the bottle, you'll hear a little, but it's not like a soda. It's not even close. Really, just a very faint little bright energy to give it some lift. And that may even be more necessary as the wines get sweeter, a little sweeter content to help them kind of move through the palate without being cloying or anything like that. So this particular effort, which we've sold quite a bit of, every time I go back, it's possible that the vintage can change, but we keep rolling through it. I order it one case at a time, just kind of building an audience for this wine, but I am very impressed with it. I just wouldn't want to own 3 cases of it and then have it not go anywhere, because you do want to drink this pretty quickly. But the brightness, the little fizz really helps it move through. And just focus in on those green apple tones. This one's got a little bit of, it says, Txakolina is famous for its formidable level of acidity, but it is a supremely refreshing on a hot day. The Ameztoi Txakolina is delicious and zesty white, made from Hammurabi Zuri grape varietal. It has an enticing bouquet of lemon zest. I think that's very good. Pear, sure. And delicate flowers. I wonder which flowers those might be. Maybe some of you can help me. But there's definitely a wonderful fragrance in there. It's a little playful, a little almost a hint of candy, but that kind of leads you to think, oh, maybe there's going to be some sweetness in the wine. This thing is pretty bone dry. I hope you guys are impressed with that. And I think it's a lot of fun. And it's a great way to get people that think they don't like wine to like wine. This thing has really got mass application. And it's hard not to like. I just, and look at that picture. Come on. It's so gorgeous, so lush. And you can see that they're using some really old school trellising techniques, trellising them quite high, creating a canopy up on top, letting the fruit get protected from the sun, from the wind. 25 bucks. A lot of fun. Probably was $19.95 last year pre-tariff, but that is what you get right now. And this is one of the top producers. Really, really a an important producer in the category, a leader, and very well respected, brought in by a really cool little importer. Hope you guys liked it. I'd love to get some comments from you guys. This is the first time we've tasted this wine with you. I have tasted a different Txakolina in the past, a wine that's made as Txakolina, but not quite with this freshness factor. It's kind of more of a long aging Txakolina that we had years ago. I see you, but I don't hear you. Are you guys out there? Oh, I see some comments. Stephanie, thank you. The spritz is there. Good. It lived. It lived. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you. Yeah. The alcohol is really low. Thank you for that, Tig. We're talking about, what do you think it is? If you said 10.5, you're in the ballpark.
I was going to go between 9 and 10, actually.
Yeah, 10.5, yeah.
It didn't, yeah. It's that, as you said, it's that refreshing daytime. The spritz lasted in mine as well.
Awesome. Good to hear. All right. Well, we're off to a good start. That's certainly a good way to break you out of your spell. Hopefully you can see the slideshow. I'm going back into wine number 2. This time we're going to Rueda. Of course, tonight we're covering a bunch of Spain. So in my trip, I'm going to go from San Sebastian down into like probably Rioja next, and then Ribera del Duero, then Madrid. And that'll cover the first 7 days. And then we'll take a train to Barcelona, where we'll spend a couple of days, use Barcelona as our base, and we'll satellite out to Cava, to Priorat, Montsant, maybe some other areas as well. But Rueda, a little bit further, I guess it's kind of more west than Ribera, because we were up here in San Sebastian. Madrid's here. Kind of why we're going to cover what we're going to cover. But Rueda right here next to Toro. Check out the soils. Wow. What a riverbed that is, huh? You can always tell there was water there when the rocks are round, and some really old vines here. Laura Sands is the winemaker. Bodegas Naia was set up in 2002, so relatively recent, but that's not surprising at all. There was a lot of, investment between 1992 and 2005. You saw kind of a race in. In fact, the government was giving away land if you would come and create jobs. You had to have a business plan, you had to have financing, but they would give you the land if you could create jobs. They still have land that's not being used. There's so much land in Spain, so few people. It's a great producer of things, but a lot of brain drain, a lot of people left, and it's really interesting to see how they're kind of still rebalancing, regaining their traction. Certainly a lot of export. And Rueda kind of filled a hole because a lot of people were drinking the white wines, maybe cavas, the sparklings, but the white wines were kind of lacking from Spain. So Rioja had some, but they were typically, older styles. They didn't have that fresh factor. Rueda kind of came along and took a lot of ground with white wine. And since that started, Rueda's had to fight for it. And I'll say the wine that we're tasting tonight is a good fighter. I've tasted a lot of Rueda that I would not bring into the store. There's a good swath, very inexpensive, not very impressive wine that carries this appellation, this DO. These are old goblet trained, So you don't see any trellising or anything like that. There is Bodegas Naia, pretty standard bodega, nothing too glorious, nothing, there's nothing too amazing here as far as architecture, but nice long-term project. They've built their reputation. I've bought this wine at several junctures in the past. Fruitiness combined with its tactile and silky sensation, leaving a lasting impression. Naia is the result of meticulous selection of grapes and the extensive winemaking tradition of La Seca, part of the Rueda Dio, perfectly paired with Asian cuisine, oily fish, and other white meats, equally pleasant with rice dishes and light stews. Here's a look at the grape variety. Verdejo. Verdejo is the grape variety. Aromatic grape behind the crispy white wines of Rueda. Grassy, herbal, not unlike Sauvignon Blanc. In fact, there are some Rueda producers that add a little Sauvignon Blanc. Let me tell them, sorry, buddy, cannot talk right now. Verdejo pairs well with goat's cheese, tomato, and shellfish. High acidity matches well with battered fish and cuts through the fat. There's Laura, 92 points, very respectable review. Aged 4 months on the lees. Aromas of stewed apple, green apple, fennel, lemon pie, and pastry emerge on the nose. That works for me. I love that. Lemon pie, pastry, stewed green apple. That may be a little harsh stewed, but you might agree with that. I'm not sure. But certainly has that green apple peel. I like the fennel note on that note as well. The palate is dry, broad, and creamy. I agree with that. I've tasted the wine earlier. Vibrant, with a vibrant flow that gives the wine volume and precision. Textbook Verdejo with excellent value. It's a great review, 92 points. $17. Pretty enjoyable. Yeah, that finish is long. I think, was that for this note, Tom? That was 3 minutes ago. I think there's an intensity to it. The length is there. Pretty polished and balanced, assertive. Yeah, I think this wine's leaves a pretty good impression, and I thought for the price, really hard to beat. There are a number of producers like this that came in at that 2000-ish time period. They really attacked the opening because these wines were even less expensive. I mean, we're talking about a wine that started probably back then at $7, $8, $9, and it's built its way to $20 probably elsewhere. We get a good deal on this wine. We buy it in a family of wines. When we buy it in large volume, we get a really good price. So price value is very strong. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Certainly our palates are set up to continue to travel, so let's do that. We're going back to the north to a great producer of Albarino, just a really top-notch effort. We're in Rias Baixas on the water. These things look like fingers sticking out. They're almost like channels, and they grow the grapes right up to the water, right on like little islands or islets. They use kind of an old method of trellising as well, pretty high up off the ground. 175 teeny plots, all hand harvested, and they're located in the heart of the Salinas subzone of Rias Baixas. We're going to start paying a little more attention to the subzones in the future. That'll create the elevation in the price points when they start doing kind of single subzones. You might start to develop a preference for the warmer one, the saltier one, the one that with the more rocky minerality. This is one of the hottest categories in wine today worldwide. I'm hearing about Albariño being planted in Argentina, Australia, New Zealand, California, Oregon, Washington. There'll be too much of it. That's one thing you can count on with the wine business. We will make too much. But it's a very likable grape variety, and this one's really hard not to like as well. You can see here that because of the canopy load, they've enforced that with this kind of brick support system. Very dry, varietally correct. Salinas Valley. Impressive and harmonious, combining power and freshness, capable of developing in the bottle for 10 years or more. That is something that I have now experienced some really good aged Albariño. Not all of them are made to do that, but there's so much acidity here, and you can feel a pretty good amount of weight here. This would be one that could make the journey. One of the key white wine varieties of the Iberian Peninsula, characterized by high acidity and thick skins. It has the ability to respond well to excessive humidity and heat. The names Albariño and Albarino is derived from the Latin word albo, which means white in Latin.
Vina.
Most commonly, Albariño wines are dry, show flavors of peach, apricot, citrus, white flowers, and clock in somewhere around 12% alcohol. $12.5, this one says. Oh, that nose is fantastic. Here's Gerardo Mendez, the winemaker, standing underneath his vines. Looks like that's a review of the 2022. So maybe the 23 is on my website now. Let me see if we got that up there. But you can see how they manage these vines. This is obviously not in the November time period. Maybe this is not a young vineyard. This is an old vineyard. Look how tall that trunk is on the vine, and it's been trained up and around the brick. But as the year goes by, it adds leaf, it adds weight, lots of fruit. So these support systems probably help support a lot of weight. Some Albariño is made at a level that's entry level. There's some stuff that you can buy under $20. I tasted one yesterday that I'll probably bring into the store that'll be maybe 22 that I find acceptable. Not a lot down there that I want to spend a lot of time with. But as you kick into the $30 price point, $40 price point, $50 price point with Albariño, you're going to have some treasure. And this producer is very well respected, really top notch. I have already sold a lot of it. I'm going to be surprised if when we go to the website we see that there's down 9. So clicking down, I'm sure the next time I get this wine on the reload, it will be a 24 vintage, and that price will start with a 4. Not much I can do about what's going on with the tariffs and the pricings that's been hitting us hard since January. The importers absorbed it up until a point they thought it might go away, not going away. They're passing it on full bloat. At this time, I'm seeing very significant price increases across major categories. And people have been coming in, noticing I haven't changed my prices and just buying everything we got. You can look across the country. It's just kind of a chaotic moment as people buy what they can find at the best price. I understand it. I'm not always the best price. Some person may have bought 20 cases last year before the tariff. But I do tell you that with the current price, if everything was based on the current price, I would be amongst the best prices on the planet. A lot of you are members at our website too. We give you 10% off when you're a member, and that's on the Zooms and on the wines. That has a lot of implications. It doesn't take long to pay for the membership, and we appreciate all of you guys that have supported the membership. 93 points. That is a 2022 review, but I'm going to go ahead and read it anyway. Fermented with a Ped de Cuvée from Old Vine. So when you're working with 165 plots, you're going to put a couple of them together. So it's a cuvee of Old Vine sites, fermented in stainless steel and matured on its lees. It has a balsamic nose with notes of grass and bay leaf. Remember that bay leaf. A round palate with pungent flavors and good acidity. It's clean and varietal, reflecting a warmer year. Well, 23 was an even better year than the 2022. So I'm gonna. Here's what I'm gonna do. And I'm pretty sure I did this, but I go to Wine Searcher, take the wine and paste it in. Take a look at those different prices. We look at the vintage chart. So pretty consistent. 23 typically, I think, is thought of as better. But look at these prices growing. And overall, it's about a $35 bottle of wine, but 37. If you went back in time, you'd see that this wine used to be a $25 bottle. $92, $93, Cellar Tracker 91. 94 when I get it, about the same. Pretty consistent. Nose of the wine. Bay leaf. Love that note. Lemon, lime, salt. Love the structure, love the character, love Albariño. And that's why we are going to do a second wine that is an Albarino. Love for you to taste it at this time. Give me your thoughts. Reading the notes now. Tom, you said when you first went to Spain, the white wines tended to be oxidized.
I
I
was
think that
wrong.
happened a lot back then.
Yeah.
Technology, the way we bottled wine. Um, yeah, 20-year-old Rioja for $5 at a restaurant. Wow.
It was amazing.
Albarino seems to have a slightly green olive aftertaste to me. I love that. That's great. Yeah, I think there's like a whole Mediterranean salad in there of, sun-drenched nuances, olives, herbs, olive oil. Tig, you're onto something. Number 4 is the softest of the bunch. A style I like. Cool. Anyone else want to comment about number 4, our bonus wine, before I unveil what it is? More fruit. Yep. It's because we're in the sun-drenched state of California with this Albariño. This is from my friend Aaron Pott.
Oh, this is sneaky.
Stephanie went with me when we went to Napa to the Perliss estate, where Aaron Pott is the winemaker. They don't grow Albarino on this property. It's cab property, but they buy the fruit and make it from older vine Albarino. It's a single vineyard, actually, in Lodi. And Aaron Pott loves the quality of this fruit. He does it in amphora with really, really high insight on amphoras. The Perliss are Perliss estate. The family, they import the amphora from Tuscany. Very old amphora family. It's been making amphora since the 600s in the same place. And so the Perliss estate, he's got all kinds of cool little mythical like look about the bottle, the package. Depending on the wine, it changes quite a bit. But we're in Napa. They're in Calistoga, actually, I think, right? Santa Helena or Calistoga. I think maybe it's Santa Helena. But there's a look at the property. 2.6 acres. Huge. Teeny little spot. Just grown to Cabernet there. But they do have a custom crush facility that they're using that Aaron makes a lot of his clients at. And they're able to bring in fruit from outside. The estate makes some really good stuff. Redolent of pear and tropical fruits. An alluring marine note also courses through Moura. By the way, just a fun fact, the brand Perliss, he even makes a wine using the ancient Roman technique, which is to add a little seawater to the wine. Not this one, but there is one that he does that with, and it's only sold to the mailing list. He makes some really adventurous stuff and uses all kinds of really cool bottle art and the use of the Tuscan vases is pretty cool. Native yeast fermentations. Lots of texture here in the variety. No wood, just some lees time builds up that kind of that round, creamier sensation here. And there's Aaron Pott. He got 94 points on this version. kind of a honey-kissed finish is a nice little note to catch there as well. That's your 2.7 acres right there. And this wine, I'm carrying it at $34.95. The winery was $60. So I'm doing some stuff with this wine. We poured this wine for the Milken Foundation. They loved it. Got a few bottles left. I got another load coming. So pretty delicious and fun. Good price point. High ethos producer. High score. We'll move into wine number 5. Our first red. And I have called this out loud the most important winery in Spain. Maybe, there are more expensive wines of Spain. I didn't say the most expensive wine. I said the most important wine. Vina Tondonia is a legendary producer. Rioja is an absolute benchmark appellation. Inside the appellation of Rioja, I would say that this is, if not the most important producer, you could argue who is, and I would put this right up at the top. They do some really high art with the wines. The current vintage just turned 2013, so in the store right now I have 12 and 13. That's the Reserva. Reserva in Rioja. Rioja has different levels. They have the new Rioja that would be considered joven or new, fresh. The word joven is being used less and less, but that's like your fresh 1-year-old stuff. Your Conceição, those would be your 2-year-old wines. Your Reserva, 3 years minimum to be called a Reserva. Gran Reserva is 5 years or more. And at Tondonia, they understand why the Rioja region makes those rules, but they just completely ignore them. And in fact, don't even pay to endorse them, because if they did, they'd have a sticker on the back saying this is a Reserva. Instead, they just like, our Reserva 2012, 13 years. There's Rioja. If you visit, you'll see how important this producer is just by its piece of real estate, how historic it is. They're looking to do everything in their power to keep it like it's what's the year they started? 1877. They want to keep it 1877. Okay. The roofs, the walls, everything's built long aging. They have their own coopers there that make their barrels, but they don't actually make barrels. All they do is fix them. They love 50-year-old wood barrels. Okay. And that's part of the charm of this wine, is it's coming out of some old wood barrel that, more like Cuba, they don't buy anything new. They just fix and repair. And they have 100-year-old wood tanks. And they have walls that they refuse to destroy the information. Well, some people call it dusting or cleaning. They refuse to destroy the information to protect the terroir. The terroir goes all the way down to the dust, the spiders, the spider webs, everything that's in this winery, make it what it is. This is an old winery with old barrels. And, some of these barrels leak. So they take them and they fix them. And it's the old-fashioned way for sure. The winemaker, her name is Mary Jose Lopez de Heredia. Mary Jose runs the place with a whip and a chair. She is in charge, and she knows what she's doing. And I visited there in 2004, and every year I still get a signed Christmas card from her. And they're beautiful. They're ridiculous. They're gorgeous. So it's the nicest Christmas card you've ever seen. They make something very high art. Hopeful that we have another picture of the estate for you to see, the tasting room. If not, I'm going to go get one for you. But this wine, every Rioja can have a different blend. We think Tempranillo, and this one happens to be 70% Tempranillo, but Grenache or Garnacha or Grenacho, as they call it, Graciano, Masuelo, these are the grape varieties. Masuelo deep in pigment, Graciano black, very bitter. Garnacha versatile, heat tolerant. Tempranillo thick-skinned, moderate tannins, producing full-bodied, deep-colored, and age-worthy wines with flavors of cherry plum, tobacco, and leather. There she is, Maria Jose. Savory berries, plums, iron, minerals, tobacco, ink, and blood oranges. Very bright, juicy, and structured, with sensational balance, aged savoriness, and brightness that are typical of Tondonia reds. Beautiful now. They hold them until they're ready to drink. There it is. They built this about the last 10 years. It's probably 10 years now. This is the tasting room, and it's designed by an architect that is after a decanter. So when you walk in there, it's got this super modern, cool little tasting room next to this really authentic, but beautiful and optimally placed. I mean, if you were a pin that wanted to be dropped in the right location, that's what Tondonia is all about. They built the city around Tondonia, not Tondonia around the city. This is $66.95. I carry a strong inventory on Tondonia because you get an opportunity to buy it and then you don't. I'm going to take the name Lopez de Heredia. I'm going to paste it into my website, and it might be like the most abundant holding as far as number of SKUs that I own. I carry the Vina Cubillo, the Tondonia White. Look at that. This is the Blanco Reserva 13, almost $300. That's a really rare wine. They make very little white, and it is hard to get. And the only reason I get it is I buy this one in large quantity, and it qualifies me to get this one. Here's some 11 Reserva. I'm almost out of that. We just got the 13. I'd love to keep a vertical going, so I didn't buy enough in 11. I'm pretty sure I failed. Yeah, if we only have 4 bottles. I'd love to be like 36 bottles, 60 bottles, 60 bottles. I have a teeny store. But keeping something like this in vertical is my dream. Here's the other vineyard that they own, Vina Basconia. This one up here, the Cubillo, is really delicious, and like your $30 version. Cubillo is a little younger site, doesn't have the history or the reputation of Tondonia. They sell it for a really nice price, gets good scores. Let's take a step up. You go to Basconia, a little different cepage, even a different bottle. Look at that. And you can see the blend on this one changes a little bit. Tempranillo, Garnacha, Masuelo, Graciano. Thought it was more Grenache. Maybe it's the other one. Oh, they're all keeping that pretty consistent, but they are the names of the vineyards. They're not blends. They're vineyards. So in growing here, we have the 13, which just came in, little higher price on the 13. It's up about $3 over the 12. That should be probably upside down. I should have higher prices for the older ones. Tondonia, then the Grand Reservas. I just got some 95 direct from the winery. This bottle did not sit in America for even a day. When it got imported, it came straight to me. I got 6 of them. That was my allocation. $478. And that's a Grand Reserva, okay? I promise you, well, just look at my website. You'll see these wines are absolutely some of the best. Like, if this was a watch, this would be a Philippe Patek, because this thing goes up every year in price, and that's because of Maria Jose. The white 2004, 400, 300 at 13 for the Reserva, the Grand Reserva, 400, and that's kind of a deal because that should be now in the 400s. Here's a 2001 Reserva at 156. So that's just the Reserva. That's what we're drinking. Just 10 more years on it. And then the 2010 Bianco at 324. I think this was in the top 100 wines of the world too. There's extra demand for the 2010, 98 points. I have drank 68 white Grand Reserva for my birthday wine. This is a wine to go out and look for. And I have the 70 at $800 a bottle. The 70 is a 97 pointer. I've had wines from the 50s. Those are now approaching $2,000 a bottle. Really important house. They're doing it right. I love the quality. Let's go back to our slideshow and finish up with a taste of this one. Color advanced. By the way, time in wood, time in the bottle. There's extended time in wood on this wine. And I'm looking to see here. Parker does a nice job of talking about the vintage, 25% less rain, lower yields. 12 was a great vintage, 13 as well. The 2012 is firing on all cylinders, one of the very best young Tondonia bottlings we've ever had. One thing that you might be smelling when you smell this wine, dill, because this is entirely an American oak. Dill. Smell that. I love this wine. I do. Yeah, maybe someday, like a whole night of Tondonia. I'll keep building my collection. I honestly sell that Grand Reserva. I get like 2 bottles at a time. I don't care what price I'm at. People come in and poach it. I mean, I could price it to ludicrous level and keep it around, but it is what people want to own. This is what I think I want to drink. I drink it a lot. I take it out all the time. Who doesn't want to drink a 2012 for $70? And I think it's so good with food. I mean, what type of food couldn't you have with this? Your steaks, your stews, your lamb. I just did a tasting at the cheese store in Beverly Hills on Saturday. What a fun group we had. People freaked out when I served this with Iberico. We had Iberico chorizo as well. And the cheese store styled me with some really good cheeses. We were doing some cosmic combinations. I'm really getting into my own there with some really interesting pairings. We had these pimento stuffed olives from Spain, olive oil, this crazy blue cheese that is probably the most pungent blue cheese in the world from Spain. And we did that with a little piece of chocolate. And it was just crazyville. And people loved it. And we sat around and just laughed and finished the bottles. It's a really fun experience at the cheese store in Beverly Hills. If you like cheese, come and join me there. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed Tondonia. And if you go to Spain, whether with or without me, make sure you make it there. It's a really special spot. We move on. Before I move into wine number 6, next week we're doing the Rosé Roundup, tasting some really cool classic rosés. Going kind of keeping it in France for the most part. We go from Provence to Provence to Provence to Corsica, which is still part of France, to Bagnols, back to Provence. A couple of different little vintages, some 24s and 23s. 25s are just gonna make it. I was hoping to get a 25 in-house. I still might surprise you with a 25. But French rosé, and especially in Bandol, gets better with time. And 21 Bandol is awesome. And 21 is a great vintage to hold a cooler vintage that'll age like a Titan. I would like to have this Bandol when it's 10 years old, maybe even 15. So we'll take a look at that with the Rosé Roundup. I think rosés that I've been tasting lately are really good. I know the rosé category is a little beat up. We all drank too much of it during the pandemic, but this is a really good lineup if you like rosé. And now is the time of the year to get behind rosé. These warmer days are coming for us, and nothing tastes better than a crispy, cool rosé throughout the summer. Central Coast Gems. I don't even remember which wines we're going to taste. Oh yeah, Rockstars, Alban, Rococo, Tally, Ojai, Levo, Mount Eden. That's cool. Albariño, Chenin, Pinot, Syrah, a Syrah blend from Paso, and a great 2018 Santa Cruz Mountains Cab. So really fun lineup. Central Coast. Come and join me. Alsace is coming. I can tell that's going to be a big one. We've sold a lot of Alsace already. My white Burgundy tasting, I have to be honest, I have to click in and see what we're looking at. Things have kind of sped up. Some of these wines, when they, I have a lot of 19s and 20s, and they're all pre-tariff pricing. They're kind of disappearing rapidly, which is good for my bottom line. But there's like a little piece of me that's like, oh, now I got to bring in the new wine at a much higher price. But really cool, comprehensive tasting of white Burgundy, Puy-Fusé, Savagny, Marsanne, Montigny, Saint-Naban, Merceau. All right, one of the cool ones this summer, and in celebration of our 250th year as a country, I'm doing doing a Madeira retrospective, and to keep the damn thing in the price category, And it could get, several $100s per tasting kit if I started opening up old Madeira. And I could. I just don't have the confidence that I would sell more than one or two kits. But really a great lineup. Blandies. There's only like 6 producers in Madeira on the island of Madeira now. We're going to finish that tasting with a 90. And the one before that's called the Boston Buall. It's got like a 30-year blend in there. There's 15, 10, 10, and Rainwater. Really great lineup. We're going to learn a lot about Madeira. Probably have a special guest on this one as well. Then Zinfandel after that. Let's go to our next wine. Wine number 6 is our Alto Moncayo. We've had different wines from Alto Moncayo throughout the years. One of the top producers of old vine Grenache. This is Campo de Borja. You can see where it's at. It's just kind of off the tip of Rioja. Do a little leapfrog and you're in Campo de Borja. A lot of buildings look like that. They're not too crazy in their architecture, but highly functioning. They're out in the middle of nowhere amongst the vines. 60, 80, 100-plus-year-old vines. Campo de Borja is made by an Australian winemaker. He's a 100-point winemaker from Australia. His name's Chris Ringland. We've had him on the Zooms before. Super fun, super nice guy. He Zoomed with us a couple years back. I should find that. It wasn't applicable because it wasn't the same wine that we're tasting tonight. Otherwise, I would have used the video, but this is Garnacha, Grenache, the second most planted grape variety in the world behind Cabernet, by the way. It's really one of my favorite grape varieties for my personal pleasure. I drink a lot of Grenache. I tend to drink a lot of it from Spain. I drink a lot of it from the southwest of France. It's a wine that delivers a lot of value. I honestly don't drink a lot of this wine. This is a big wine. And as I'm very honest about what I drink, I do love to taste this wine. I don't drink a lot of this wine. It's big. I drink a lot of softer wines. I drink a lot of rosé. I drink a lot of champagne. I drink a lot of pretty wines. I taste a lot of big wines. I like to taste big wines. I make a big wine. Zinfandel. Big. And Chris can get more in a bottle than anyone else. Deep garnet in the glass. The wine has an enticing nose of blackcurrant, cocoa powder, and coffee bean, with gorgeous layers of fruit and spice dotted with flecks of chocolate. Powerful tannins gradually mellow out and leave behind touches of cherry and chocolate. A sleek, harmonious red with a rich undertone of sweet smoke, fig jam, and mocha notes, plus generous flavors of blackberry paste, crushed black cherry, and grilled thyme. Long and silky with lots of fragrant spices on the finish. These sites are, wow, you're like, no wonder. This is like a jackpot of old vine Grenache.
Ian, how long has Ringland been at Alto Moncayo? Because I love their wines for a long time.
He started it he was the original winemaker.
Oh, so he's been there a long time. Okay.
Long time.
See, it's really funny because you say, because I like, quote, soft wines, even though these are big wines, I still find them fairly soft and easy to drink. And I love them.
They're definitely enjoyable. Hedonistic, rich, round.
Yeah, they're big.
These are not the ones that you're gonna get slowed down or dented by the minerality.
Yeah, this is the one in the middle you've got.
Yeah. Glass staining.
Do you have the one above and the one below as well on your website?
I don't right now. I typically have two. I don't usually carry the super high end one. That's over $100 now.
Yep. It's been over $100 for a long time.
Yeah, and you end up holding and that's just like putting money. It doesn't fly out the door. This does. I move through this rapidly, and
The one below this is a great wine too, though.
yeah, for
It
sure.
begins with a V or something. I don't remember the name of it.
Yeah, let me just see what I got. And I did just sell out of one too. So
But there you have it, the Veriton.
Baritone, yeah.
Yeah, that's a wonderful wine too. It's actually not. It's not that much below what we're drinking.
It's not, and I think you got the same score, but the vine age on this one is higher, and it's one of those wines where I don't mind having a good assortment of them. These things can have a lot of personality with the vintage. Now, 21 is believe it or not, a slightly cooler vintage than 2020. Lots of personality. Just the fact that they have an Australian winemaker. He probably weighs in close to 300 pounds. You wouldn't expect him to make pretty feminine wines. I think the wines often look like the winemaker. 51.95, and unfortunately going up pretty good click at the moment. Our last wine tonight, wine number 7, is an incredible find because the small importer was able to pick these guys up, and they were pretty well distributed years ago. They dropped their distributor. They kind of left California behind and focused on other places, and wait a second, does that say Stephanie likes the big wines? I am shocked, Stephanie. I'm so shocked. Yeah, I know. I don't buy wines for myself, for the store. I taste them, and I try to buy a wide assortment and find things to turn people on to, and to have the wines that people want. In general, there are wines I refuse to buy, but there are a few that I just buy for my own self, and I'll put my own personal spin on them when they come around. But this is a Pago de los Capellanes. There we go. Pago de los Capellanes. Hey, I got it. Ribera del Duero. I could say that all day long. 2020. They make several different levels at this producer. This is pretty much at like 2/3 the way up the quality chain. There's some $100 stuff and there's some $200 stuff from this producer, but we're in the golden miles of Ribera del Duero, where Tempranillo is the king. And these soils have like a red iron to them, and the vines are really precious there. The land is expensive. It's some of the more expensive vineyard land in Spain. Of course, it has to be good land. 1,000 meters in elevation. There's a look at the site. Stefana Rodero Villa. Born from the oldest vines, offering the pleasure of time. Its grace arises from old, extremely classy vineyards in the heart of the most intimate of our most intimate Ribera del Duero. Tempranillo, 100%. Clusters can, they tend to just be big, beefy, thick-skinned, heavy clusters. Not very many of them per vine, but pretty heavy. And the what comes in with the vintage is like some cluster weights are down and some cluster weights are up, depending on the vintage. This is 94 points. There's Stefania. This deep ruby colored wine has aromas of cherry cola, espresso bean, and rose petal. Moderate acidity bathes the palate amid cherry, raspberry, milk chocolate, violet, dried thyme flavors. Velvety tannins and a closing note of caramel linger on the tongue. I literally, before this Zoom started, got a text from a customer that bought a bottle of this. And he's like, oh, he said something very nice. I'll tell you. He said, did you send me anything that sucks? Because I can't find it. And he wanted a bunch of stuff. He just was going to go to Spain and he wanted like a box of Spanish wines. So I sent him some of my favorite things. This was one of them. And he opened it already. And he is into it, and he's like, how much is this bottle? And I told him the price, and he's like, oh my God, because this wine is such a great price value, $60. Big, bold, and delicious, spicy, sexy, lots of tannin. Age, this thing will age like a titan.
Yummy.
Check out the finish on that thing. It's like 30 seconds later. Distinctly Spanish. I mean, really an icon. Really good brand. I'm hearing some good noises. That's good. Glad you like it.
Sorry, and I like this better than the Tondonia wines are not my style in some ways.
Yeah.
Those are a little more austere than I like.
Yeah, I can understand. Before I talk about trips, anybody else want to say anything? You guys are hopefully enjoying and.
This is a better balanced wine than the Altos, the Alto Moncayos, but I do like the Alto Moncayos with red meat. This is wonderful.
Awesome.
I've never had this wine before.
Fantastic.
This is yummy.
Sandra, which one do you like? See it. I'm gonna hit 5, she says. Gotcha. Cool. Thomas, did you have a favorite tonight?
I really enjoy the Tondonia as well. That's a very old-fashioned bottle in a lot of ways. I can see why people wouldn't enjoy it, but to me, it it's a great statement. This is beautiful too.
Yeah.
And really, I put a comment earlier. The white wines are just incredibly special from that standpoint. I don't drink a lot of white wine, but what I do, these are the kind of white wines I'd want to drink.
Thank you.
Yeah, awesome stuff. The
Steph,
Albarino that you served, to me, that had the taste of the sea as well. There was definitely right next to the ocean. You could really pick that up, which was a nice thing. But the others were
well,
really good too. Yeah.
we had planned on tasting a different Albarino, and it like the day I probably last week when I was presenting the Zoom, I presented it. Say, hey, we got a really special Albarino coming in, blah, blah, blah. And boom, it disappeared. Like somebody came in and wiped it out.
Oh boy.
So that's why we did 2 Albarinos tonight to make up for that. But I will get that one back. It's just something I get to buy once a year when it comes in, and then it's gone.
Yeah.
And so we'll see if I can mention it when it comes back in, but it probably will be a few months from now.
And
Gary,
if you don't,
do you have any preferences tonight?
Yeah, for the red, I like number 7. This last
Awesome.
one's my favorite.
Stephanie
And on the
says
whites,
agreement.
I kind of went with the New World white as my favorite.
The New World one, the
Agreed.
the Lodi Albarino 4.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, super good, super good. I mean,
But I enjoyed all the wines. So
yeah,
I mean,
thank you. Aaron does a great job, and not everybody can achieve that kind of balance between having it be varietally correct and show off some New World character. I think that's pretty dangerous sometimes to even try. But he did a really good job, and the fact that he's using terracotta on that thing is crazy. But you remember that, Stephanie, when we visited that winery?
I did. I was just showing my sister the picture of the terracotta.
Yeah, and every single terracotta that they get is like signed by the artist.
So cool.
I mean, it's not just a pot. It's got like it's ornate on the outside. It's got drawings and sculptures and stuff like that. So, really cool. And some of the wines that this estate Perliss will make, one of them has seawater. It's based on an ancient Roman recipe. One of them is Semillon with skin contact. That like literally it looks like an IPA in the bottle. It's kind of got like a haze floating around. It's called Snakeskin. Uh, they're making some pretty ambitious stuff there.
The one
And
with seawater, when I got it, it actually had salt around the edge of the cork. It was pretty cool.
how cool!
Yeah.
I totally believe that. You know, if you get to hang out with Aaron Pott, he spends. I mean, he comes from his father was a writer, and so Aaron grew up reading a lot, and his imagination is boundless, and yet has great literary references, and he reads a lot of obscura stuff, and so he's highly intellectual, but yet makes it so easy to love, and I think that's what's so cool about him. Um, but thank you guys for going on this journey across Spain with me. Hope you guys will consider coming with me when we go. And I do have one more slide to show you about those trips. Sonoma is coming together. There is a new Michelin 3-star restaurant that we're going to be visiting in Sonoma. And getting some pretty interesting appointments together. Can't quite announce it yet. Don't know what dates things are going to happen, except for these are the dates. It's a short trip, just a weekender, but right towards the end of harvest should be action packed. November 1 through 7, we're going to Champaign. February 5 through 8, Napa Valley with the French Laundry. February 28th through March 4, Walla Walla. That sounds like a long time, but that's the last day of February, and we're done on the morning of March 4th. So it's 3 days in Walla Walla wine country and an extra night. We're going to meet up on Sunday the 28th. It's just because not a lot to do there on a Sunday with the wineries. A lot of the wineries being closed or just open to the tasting room appointments. I like to meet the winemakers, the owners, stuff like that. So we'll go hard Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Walla Walla, Red Mountain, and Milton Freewater are the 3 days up there. New Zealand, Spain, Barolo. And I'll start working on 2028 dates very soon. Barolo's pretty much done, meaning that the package will go live here soon. We're going to start selling that very quickly. Spain, still gathering interest, but we got the trip done. It should be on the website now. And the trip to New Zealand, a work in progress forever. It's been a work in progress. I can't even help myself on that one. But we'll get there. We'll get it done. Thank you guys. Hope you have a good night. My Dodgers are in really bad shape. It's hard to even talk about it. I've gone to 2 of the last 4 games. The one on Friday was a spectacular game, but everything since then has sucked. And I don't know what it's going to take. Maybe they have to really get get beat up for a while before they start changing something. But they're going to sit down Shohei Ohtani for 2 games and give him some rest. That's what they announced today, because he is not doing great.
Maybe they need to start paying some of those players, Ian. I don't think they're getting enough money, right?
You know, baseball players don't complain about being underpaid, and if they did, I would hate them for it.
Yeah, I heard that the Giants might have won a game last night. Is that true?
2 in a row, buddy. They really, for the last place team to come in and spank us like they did, it's hurtful.
Oh boy.
I was there.
Oh, you were there. That's even worse. Okay.
Yeah, it really hurt me. Lisa's not here to rub it in, so you have to do it for her. But go Dodgers! I'll talk to you guys later.
Thanks a lot, Ian.
So long, Ian.
Bye.
The joy of being a ref, Ian, I never care who wins.
That's a good place to be.